What I am saying is quality of service delivery is important. Once you do, once you develop the individuals working in the institutions very humble or very ethical, once you make the institutions very strong, once you develop the team culture in the institutions, that is called work culture, once you develop it, these three things improves the efficiency of quality of service delivery. Once quality of service delivery is improved, then this is going to result in better governance. What is governance? Governance is nothing but delivery of goods and services to the people. That is called governance. If the quality is improved, then that is called quality or ethical or good governance. Good governance is quality has to be of the highest standards. How you build that quality from all these foundations, right? Once the quality is improved, then utilization of public funds and challenges in corruption. Once that quality is improved, once you have institutions very strong, the quality of utilization of public funds or the quality of these type of issues, just like corruption or anything, they are going to come down. So this is how the entire syllabus is modeled. That is what I wanted to say. I hope, and now why I said all these things is in this web of syllabus, that is, if you look at my points that I have written 7, 8, 3, 5, 6, 2, 6A, 4, 1, 9, 10, right? Why I have said this is whenever we are writing an answer, we should not just think on one line. Okay, what should be there here? What should be there here? You want to develop diverse perspectives. In order to develop diverse perspective, you should understand what is the entire linkage of this topic. If they are asking about accountability, you should at least link. If accountability here comes under probability, I said, right? Accountability is 6A. You should know what are the 5 topics that are connected for this accountability and what are the next 4 concepts which are linked with accountability here. If you are writing something on emotional intelligence, that is 8. You should know 8 didn't come out of blue, right? It didn't fall from the sky. It has certain linkages, right? You should understand, yes, there are 7 linkages for this emotional intelligence. And there are 2 aspects above this 8, that is called until 10 you have. Thus, this is the importance of emotional intelligence. Don't write on one scale. This gives you dimensions of thinking. Particularly for all these 7, 8, for all these answers that I have shown, you should have a strong interlinkages. And this interlinkage, it doesn't take a rocket science to understand. This is simple. No one tells you this. We'll just be studying many books. We'll be just watching videos. But once you develop this, normally you can write a basic answer. No need to study anything also. I hope you got this point. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. But writing answer, link with the topics and write. Then you develop overall view. That is called beauty of writing. Involve all your senses in your, whenever you are practicing, again, I am saying this, don't read the books. Don't read whatever the content it is there. No, not necessary for ethics. What you do is take a white paper, take a pen, sit calmly. First try to reorient the syllabus. Okay, ఈ టాపిక్ లో దీనికి డైమెన్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఈ విధంగా డైమెన్షన్స్ బిల్డప్ చేయగలను, ఈ టాపిక్ ఈ విధంగా డైమెన్షన్స్ బిల్డప్ చేయగలను, దీనికి ఇది లింకేజ్, దీనికి ఇది లింకేజ్. Once you are developing this type of thought process, then your brain starts functioning. You will not get mental blockade in the exam, right? And you will be rotating. If you don't practice this way, you will be rotating around only one point. Rasinde mari rastam, emotional intelligence, rasinde rastam. No. Once you develop this, you have content, and then you can develop this. And this is very important. This structure is very important to understand the contributions of moral thinkers. I'll tell you how you have to link this. But first understand the linkage, right? This is how you have to understand. Anyways, we have done 7th and 8th. That is aptitude and foundational values of civil services and emotional intelligence, right? So this is the linkage. Now I'll discuss the subcomponents of the so-called public service values and everything. Did you get the point? Is there any question? Is it clear now? Is there any doubt? Yes, clear. Good. Right then. Let me go to first context, that is called what is the philosophical basis of governance, or how the structure called governance evolved at all. Again, for political science students, it might be very boring because I'm just telling about social contract theories. Just listen. I'll just go through quickly. See why at all a structure called government evolved, or why this institution of governance has evolved. Why this has evolved. What was the how humans used to live before government was there? That you have to understand. Before government, or before such institution called governance existed at all, when individuals were born, when human beings were born, in the ancient times, during our old stone ages, right? People lived individually. People lived individually. There is no concept of governance, no government to govern them, right? People are just like any animals. They used to live. Now there is no concept of community at all. We are born. There is no concept of gender, nothing. You are born, right? You will be surviving, that's it. You will be surviving based on human instinct. That is called just like any animal. You will be going for hunting, you will be eating whatever the food that you get, right? That is how humans were in the old ages. The evolution of human history has started like this. There is no governance at all. No, there is no community at all. Now, over a period of time, what people thought is, now during this phase, that is called when the government is not present, people used to live in the state of nature. This is called state of nature. There is no government at all. People used to live in state of nature. Prakruti dharmam prakaram nivasinchevalu. What is the state of nature? State of nature is anything where individuals used to live according to the principles of nature. What is the principle of nature? Principles of nature is jungle system. That is, what is jungle raj or jungle system? The biggest part, the powerful persons will be surviving by eliminating the weaker people. Power is, if you are powerful, just like lion is very powerful, it eats other animals. That is the jungle system, jungle raj, right? Similarly, individuals used to go and hunt based on their physical strength, based on their power. They used to overcome others, they used to eliminate others, and then he used to survive, right? Tomorrow, if there is another person who is more powerful than him, he is going to get eliminated, and this powerful person is going to live. Day after tomorrow, if there is some more person who is more powerful, he is going to be eliminated by this man, and he is going to be powerful. So it was the state of nature. That is, when there is no governance concept at all, people just live like in a jungle system. There is nothing called government. The most powerful one used to live a very peaceful life, or they used to survive by eliminating the weaker ones. So this concept is called, you should have known, survival of the fittest. The fit fellow is going to survive and the weak fellow used to perish. That is the concept, right? Survival of fittest concept. This concept is also known as the concept of Matsya Nyaya as per Kautilya. Matsya Nyaya, right? What is this Matsya Nyaya? A big fish eating a small fish, like fishes eat, right? Another fish. A big fish will eat small fish. This is called Matsya Nyaya. You can use these terms, right? This is called state of nature. So when there is no government at all, individuals used to live according to their power. The more the powerful person is, the more the power is, the more their chances of survival is. So the nature is like survival of the fittest. This is a jungle system where only the powerful can exist, powerless can perish. That is the thing. And this system is also described by Kautilya as Matsya Nyaya. where a big fish eats small fish, and that big fish is eaten again by another big fish. Now, over a period of time, in the historical evolution of humankind, they realized that this system is not going to give protection. Right? Today, I said this fellow might be surviving. Tomorrow, this fellow may be eliminated and this fellow may survive. Day after tomorrow, he will be eliminated, this fellow will be survived. Day after tomorrow, someone might survive. So over a period of time, this is the thing which was going on in the state of nature, and slowly people started thinking, or people started, first he was an individual. Slowly what he started to do is he used to go and form certain community, or he used to live or establish some relations with his near people. So an individual slowly has formed into a couple now. Slowly the institution of individual led to the institution of family. Family system. This is the institution of family. If you look at Indian history, ancient Indian history, you study, right? During the Neolithic age, during the Mesolithic age, you study that the individuals started making families in India, right? So the institution of families started coming up. Now, people, they used to live in a family. Over a period of time, again, the same. There was no governance at all. Just they used to live in a family life. After that, slowly they realized that again, the game of survival of the fittest is there. If your family want to survive, you have to be powerful. Otherwise, other family is going to come and eat away your family. So slowly people realized that this family wants some security. These people want some security. So they started coming into some associations. They started forming some associations, right? And they started forming certain things called communities. Slowly families came and they started forming communities. If you look at the Indian history, you look at individually families are there. First Janas are there. Then they give rise to Janapadas, right? And then they give to Mahajanapadas. Then Mauryan kingdoms. Mahajanapadas to kingdoms. This is how Indian history has evolved, right? That I'll discuss. So first individual, then family, then community started coming. Now one community used to wage war on the other community. But before that, once the family has started coming into community, they thought that the first thing that they should have is, they should ensure that their life is protected first, right? In the Jungle Raj, there is no protection to life. So people thought that how many days can we live without this protection of life? Hence, they started thinking about it and they started coming together. The moment they started coming together, they started making some agreements or contracts or agreements, saying that, okay, today I am going to mingle with you. My family is going to mingle with your family, or we are going to live in a society so that you will not attack me, I will not attack you. In that way, they wanted to protect their life. This is again with the rational thinking of man, right? This didn't happen just from one day or 2 days. Over years, as the historical evolution of man has started, his rationality started building up and he started coming together and they started thinking or they started communicating. And the first thing that they did is, don't harm me, I won't harm you. For that, they started entering into contracts. The contract that they made is, even though I am powerful, I won't attack you. Even though you are powerful, you won't attack me. So right to life should be there. So that is how the concept of protection to life started emerging in a contract. Now, when these people have come together into a community and how they, in a community, they made this rule. All these 100 persons, they came at one place and they made a rule that you should not attack me, I will not attack you. Now, this is the contract that they made. Now, what if in this 100, think that there are 100 members and they made this contract. What if one person in this 100 is going to break this contract and eat the other fellow, right? There will be some persons who might not like this contract or who will be breaking this contract. In this 100, if someone breaks this contract, then protection to life is not possible. Again, you'll go to state of nature, right? In order to overcome this problem, what people thought is, let us start electing or appointing one person among us to ensure that no one is going to break that rule. Let us, all these 100 persons, they came to agreement and they said that let us elect one fellow among all of us. And he will be the fellow to ensure that there is no breaking of the contract. No one will break the contract, so that right to protection is maintained. This started as a result of the contract. They elected one person first. And the main duty of this fellow is to ensure that no one breaks the contract in this system. Right? This is how, over a period of time. So first thing is, protection of life was guaranteed, and this fellow, the so-called this man, he was given the powers. He was given by the powers by the 100 persons, 100 members in power icharu. If someone is breaking the contract, you have the power to punish him. If someone is breaking any contract in this, you have the power to punish him, and we are with you. You are not one person, we will come 99 and you will fight against that person. You can eliminate that because he is breaking the contract. That is how these people have given the power to this man. That is called one person, right? Over a period of time, this person is called as the king. And king has derived his powers from the contract, right? And king was given the powers to ensure that no other fellow is breaking the rule. Neither the king can, or neither this fellow has the power to eliminate any other person without any reason. They have given all the powers to this one person only in such a circumstance that if someone is breaking the contract, he can go and punish him. Otherwise, he cannot punish unnecessarily, right? I hope you are understanding. If there are 100 persons, they elected one person. And why they have elected that one person? Just to ensure that none of the remaining 99% is going to break the contract. What if this fellow breaks the contract? Even the fellow who is elected as the king, he should not break the contract. That is, he should not harm the people unnecessarily. So protection of life is the first most important thing which is guaranteed to the people, irrespective of whether you are a king or whether you are a normal citizen. Even if the king is doing this mishap and going and harming unnecessarily, then that king will take away the powers from the king and we will appoint another fellow and we will punish him. So this is how the starting point of human convergence has happened, and the first stage of system called a king governing certain communities started. Now over again, this is first they started protection to life, and over a period of time, another protections like right to property emerged, right to liberty emerged. So slowly, as people started thinking more and more, once their life is protected, they started thinking about their family. Their family is protected. Once their family is protected, they thought about their property. Again, right to property was made, and the king was given powers to look at no one is breaking right to property. So this is the thing which emerged, and slowly every right was added, and the powers of the king started increasing, and the individuals started leading a comfortable life. So the basic cause of government. Now, what this king is doing, what this person is doing, this person is just ensuring that there is some order in the nature or order among the public. This maintenance of order in the society by one person or by institution is known as governance. Maintenance of some order, right? That is why governance, that is how governance has evolved. Now, slowly, this fellow was replaced by certain group of people, republic. This is a monarch. Slowly, people started, certain groups of people used to determine him. That is called republic, right? And slowly, republics gave away rise to the so-called democracy, where people were having the ultimate powers and they elect the representatives. Again, the structure or the number of people who are going to rule. Initially, it was 1. Slowly, it was made 10. Now, the ruling class, they were increased, right? And then today in India, if you look, like the political representatives at different levels, at the central level, you have 445 MPs, right? In Lok Sabha, 250 members in Raj Sabha, right? Slowly, it gave rise to the concept of representativeness. The only thing that has changed in the governance structure is, initially it was one fellow who is called a monarch. Slowly, it gave rise to republic. Slowly, it gave rise to democracy. And it was not just one person ruling. It was an institution. Today, this ruling itself has a separate institution because of the increased dimensions of governance. What I'm saying, listen to this again. There was the king, and slowly he was given right to protect life. Now, slowly, this life, that is, individuals started their demands at life. Slowly, they changed, or they added some more things called protect my family. And then they added one more thing called protect my property. Then they said that give me some right to speech, right? Right to pray, right? So they started adding all the fundamental rights, all the natural rights that they had. So slowly, this concept of rights started enlarging. As a result, the fellow who is ruling, one person is not sufficient to rule. Rather, it required few more persons with him. That is, king used to be the top, and he used to appoint some persons where they can, each and every fellow can look one aspect of that, right? And again, with the human nature or with the human thought, this concept called the rights of people started increasing. The rights of people, the demands of people started increasing. It is no more the demand of the ancient times, that is called protection of life, right? The rights of people started increasing, and the structure of organization started building up. Again, this has evolved, and then this structure slowly again evolved, right? This is how the governance has evolved. Now, see the evolution, historical basis of evolution. How evolution? As people started realizing that they had rights, there was one fellow. As their rights started increasing, this started increasing. As their rights further included, their rights or this structure improved. As their rights further included, this structure improved. Now, from one person, this institution itself has certain branches, and this is called government. Government is an organization, structural organization. How is the structure? The structure is called government. This structure, okay, this fellow, the structure is called government. And now why this is called government here? King is called government. King plus 3 subordinates here is called government. King plus 3 plus each fellow 3 subordinates. This is called government. Government is the structure of the institution. Now today it is institution and entity. Today it is no more the king. Rather it is an institution where it is having some hierarchy, where each and every person has some control on the governance aspects. And the power equations are changing from person to person, right? From individual to individual as you reach the hierarchy. How this structure was formed? This structure was formed with the root of this. The base is this for this. The base is this. Structure is that, right? As the base started increasing, the structure started consolidating, or it started increasing, and it's developed various branches. This structure is called government. And what is their function? Their function is here, the function of this fellow is to protect the right to life. Here the function of these fellows, now these three members, is to protect life, property, speech, prey. And now this one is again increased. They had some more functions. Now, what is this functions called? They have certain aspects to deliver, right? This king has certain aspects to deliver. This king has certain aspects to deliver. His organization has certain aspects to deliver. His organization has certain aspects to deliver. Now, the functions of government are whatever they have to go and deliver. That is called governance. Governance is the service that they do or the work that they have to do. That is government. Government ante structure. Governance ante work that they do. If you look at the slogan of Modi, minimum government, maximum governance. Minimum government, maximum governance. Now what Modi is saying? What? Now you understood. Minimum governance is government. Minimum government means the structure has to be less. The structure has to be less. The governance has to be more. With the minimum people, deliver maximum output. That is called Modi's dream of minimum government, maximum people. Maybe that is the reason why he is decreasing the number of posts every year, right, in civil services. But I hope you understood this. What is governance? What is government? What is the relation between this? As the number of work has been increased, the structure itself evolved. So from the ancient times, what started with a Jangal Raj, slowly it started giving rise to the king and his subjects. And then this kings has evolved. And as we moved from ancient history, we have come to medieval. And then in the medieval history of Europe, particularly, you observe that king is playing a crucial role or here having all the powers. It should not be the king. Rather, it should be the people who should be governing. Then developed a concept of democracy. Then the structure of democracy started developing. Now, my point here to say is, in the ancient times, when there is no king, people used to live in a state of anarchy where Matsya Nyaya prevailed. Now, in order to overcome this Matsya Nyaya, people started coming and giving power to a king. Now, the moment king was given this one, all the 100 persons on that king formed a territory, right? In this territory, we 100 members are living. So you are the king for us. If some fellow outsider also comes, we will work together, we'll fight together so that our right to life is saved, right? This is how the first stage of state was created. The concept of state, that is a border, elements in the state, right? It was how the state was created. Now, how the state structure changed, that is a monarchical state or a republican state, that changed over a period of time. But this is the formation of state, right? State anedi ikkada form ayindi. That is why if you look at ancient Greek cities, there are people like Plato, Aristotle, they always said state is an essential component of human life, right? Without state, you cannot exist. Aristotle famously states, a person who doesn't need a state should be either a beast or a god. Now you understood the meaning of this. A person who doesn't require state. What is state? A king and his people surrounded by a territory. This is called state. State ante ide, where you will be coming together, you will be having a contract and you will be electing one person, right? That is called state. Now Aristotle famously says, state is very essential for human beings for survival, because if there is no state, there is Jangal Raj. Once there is Jangal Raj, we don't know when we will exist, when we will perish. Hence, state is the first basic element. That is why he says a person who doesn't require a state is either going to be a beast. He should be either a beast, just like in the jungle system, or he should be a god. God doesn't require anything, right? He is the creator of everything. That is what he says, right? State is an inescapable mechanism that should be present, and it should be present. Even Kautilya says the same thing. State should be the functioning. State should be very essential. No one can escape, or no individual can say that I don't want state. State is very essential because the basic right to life is protected by the state. That is how the state is related, and how Aristotle says, or how everyone says, state should be there, right? I am not speaking about which type of state it is. Either it may be monarchical state or a republican state or a democratic state. I am not bothering about types of states, but I am saying state is anywhere very important, that you understand first. The second thing that I wanted to say again here is, this is first thing that you have to understand, how they entered into government, or how the governance structure started, right? Government difference, and then how state was formed. Next to what you have to understand is, once this government was formed, once this is formed, right, slowly it started giving rise to the so-called I think it got stuck. One second, I'll share again. So this is how governance structure evolved, right? This is government, and the function that it has to deliver is called governance, right? Now I said state individually, it was like a king first, and then slowly it gave rise to democracy, which means again people will be ruling by electing their representatives, and it will have a hierarchical organization. It has to be this, it has to be this. Let us look at that hierarchical evolution now. Hierarchical evolution means how it has evolved. First, there was a king. King used to rule because the territory is very small. One person is enough, right? Because it was just like Janas, which were present, and then there was Janapadas, then Mahajanapadas, right? Shojata Mahajanapadas. Then it gave rise to Mauryan kingdom. Now it was initially a king, and he has some 10 people or 100 people. Now, as the people started, as the number of works that this fellow has increased, he started building up his coterie, right? His own men. He should have some men to assist him. Here they came 3 men, right? Again, as the number of workload has increased, he has created it, right? Again, he has created this. So slowly, if you look at the evolution of the so-called state, it started with a king. It slowly gave rise to the concept of one fellow, and there is some things like just like Modi and his cabinet, council of ministers, and then there will be legislature, executive, judiciary, and then in the legislature you have 45 members. They will be coming to the roots, right? Let's like Modi will be the center of the theme game, right? So here also in the ancient times, when there is no democracy, there is one person who used to be at the center, and he used to rule through his kingdoms. So if you look at the kingdoms that has formed, either it is in Indian context, but not only in Indian context, but also in the Western context, what you find is a similar structure of organization. There will be one king, and then there will be his subordinates. Under them, there will be subordinates, right? This is called the centralized administrative structure. Administration and governance are okay. Administration is nothing but governance. Administration is the function of administrators. What is administration? Administration in public administration candidates, you study it as public administration. Political science students call it as governance. That is the only difference. Otherwise, both meanings are same. Administration is the work carried by administrators. Administrators are the kings, right? Like this. Now, so administration and governance are okate. The discipline is going to differ. In public administration, you call it as administration. In political science, you call it as governance. That is the only thing, right? What I am saying is, centralized administration has evolved in this way. As the functions have improved, they have started engulfing more and more works, and centralized administration started here. So it gave rise to one person administration, gave rise to centralized administration. If you look at Indian context, now let me bring back you to the Indian context. Let us think about the ancient times, old Stone Ages. Individuals, people used to live as individuals. Slowly, Mesolithic age, Neolithic age, slowly they started communities. And after that, you have Indus Valley civilization, which is the first type of civilization. After that, again, Indus Valley civilization got disintegrated. And you have right? Indus Valley civilization, you find it as first thing called sabhas and samitis. Right? There used to be a king and samitis. Slowly after this one also gone, then you will look at again people forming into janas, janapadas, Shodasha Mahajanapadas. You find this, right? After Shodasha Mahajanapadas in the history, you will find one kingdom called the Mauryan kingdom. Now understood how it has evolved. This is the fellow, Janas forming one fellow, and then few villages came together, and they formed Janapadas. And these Janapadas elected one more fellow, and this fellow has two more subordinates. And Mahajanapadas was formed from Janapadas. And this Mahajanapadas gave rise to 16 Mahajanapadas. Slowly it gave rise to a kingdom, first kingdom, that is called Mauryan kingdom. Now by this time, this territory has increased, right? First thing is the territory has increased. The second thing is the functions has increased. The functions of this is increased. As a result, the structure of administration has increased. Janas gave rise to kingdoms. People's obligations has increased. As a result, the governance structure has improved from one person to centralized administration. That is why the first thing in the Mauryan kingdom, there is one man called Kautilya who has given, or the philosophical basis of governance in India is in Arthashastra. So this is the first treatise which discusses about governance in the Indian context, way back in 3rd century BC. Right? Arthashastra is the first book which discusses about Indian administration or administration in the Indian context, that is during the Mauryan period. And he says what are the functions of this fellow that is called king and his men, and how he should rule to ensure that the administration is working effectively. And slowly the concept of a king at the center and his subordinates, that is called mantris, right? It continued even during post-Mauryan times, Guptan times, post-Guptan times, and then it slowly gave rise to the concept of medieval times. Even in the medieval times, if you look at the Mughals or if you look at the Delhi Sultanates, again they had this strong central administration which is again divided. So if you understand this context, what I wanted to say is in India, or either it is in the ancient world, either it is in India or in Europe or it is in West Asia, until medieval times of human history, the administration was like a king and his people. Centrally, there used to be a king and his subordinates used to be present. This is not just in India. In the Indian context, you see this until Mughals, right? Until the arrival of Europeans. The same thing existed until medieval Europe also. So slowly, these kingdoms and kings were replaced by a structure of governance that is called people, and that you call it as democracy. Democracy was a Western concept. It was emerged during medieval Europe, right? In the medieval Europe, right? Slowly they fought for their rights. Constitution has emerged. Constitutionalism philosophy has emerged. And then the kingdoms are disappeared. And then there came the governance of the people. People used to elect them, and people used to rule themselves by having elected representative. This is called democracy. So if you look at how ancient times it was there, medieval times it was there, and modern times it was there, the first structural change that you observe is it is no more the king, rather it is a democratic government where people started electing themselves. That is the first thing. The second thing that you observe here is, the second thing that you should observe here is, what are the changes compared to the last times? First thing is territory has changed, right? The territory has increased. So guys, please